The bell above the diner door jingled softly as the afternoon crowd thinned, leaving behind the low hum of a tired ceiling fan and the smell of burned coffee. Outside, engines rumbled, deep, throaty sounds that didn't belong to delivery trucks or passing cars. They rolled in slow, deliberate, like thunder that knew exactly where it was headed. One by one, the motorcycles lined up along the curb, chrome flashing under the pale sun. Heads turned inside the diner. Forks paused midair. Someone muttered a prayer. The waitress noticed them last, because she was busy wiping down a booth with a rag that had long since given up on being clean. Her name was Lily, though most folks just called her, Hun. She was 24, too thin for the oversized uniform she wore, and she moved with the careful stiffness of someone whose body had learned to expect pain. When she straightened up, the sleeve of her shirt slipped back just enough to reveal a bruise on her forearm, dark, finger-shaped, blooming purple and yellow like a rotten flower. She yanked the sleeve down quickly, as if she could erase it by will alone. The bell jingled again as the door opened. They came in together. 6 of them at first, leather vests heavy on broad shoulders, patches stitched with skulls, wings, and names that carried weight in towns like this one. Conversations died. The cook stopped flipping burgers. Even the fan seemed to hesitate. Leading them was a man taller than the rest, gray threaded through his beard, eyes sharp and calm like he'd seen worse things than would ever fear sat in this diner. That was Jack, Iron, Hale. Everyone knew him, even if they pretended they didn't. He was the leader, the one who spoke when others stayed silent, the one who decided whether trouble lived or died. They took a booth near the back without asking. The leather creaked as they sat. Jack slid in last, his back to the wall, eyes scanning the room, not hunting, just observing. He noticed everything. The way the cook's hands shook. The way a man near the window stared too long at the floor. And then he noticed Lily. She approached their table with a practiced smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Coffee?" she asked, voice steady despite the tension crawling up her spine. Jack looked up at her, and his gaze paused, not on her face, but on her hands. On the faint discoloration peeking out again as she reached for the coffee pot. On the way she flinched when one of the bikers shifted in his seat too fast. "Yes," Jack said calmly. "Black." The others murmured their orders. Lily poured, careful not to spill. As she leaned forward, the collar of her shirt dipped just enough to reveal another bruise, this one yellowing at the edges, older but no less ugly. Jack's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. She moved to leave, but his voice stopped her. "Long day." She hesitated. "Aren't they all?" she said, forcing a small laugh. Jack nodded, as if accepting that answer. But his eyes didn't leave her as she walked away. He watched the way she favored her left side. The way she kept her head down when passing other customers. The way she moved like someone trying to stay invisible. "Boss," one of the bikers murmured, low enough that only Jack could hear. "You seein' that too?" Jack didn't respond. He didn't need to. They ate quietly. Outside, more bikes arrived, parking along the street like sentinels. Inside, Lily worked faster now, aware of the weight in the room. When she returned to refill their coffee, Jack spoke again. "You from around here?" he asked. "Born and raised," she said. "Family?" Her hand trembled just slightly. "Just me." Jack nodded slowly. "You're good at your job." "Thank you," she replied, surprised. As she turned, a man at the counter called out sharply. "Hey, table 4 needs service, not chit-chat." Lily flinched hard this time. "I'm sorry," she said quickly, already moving. Jack's eyes followed the sound of her apology. Then they shifted to the man at the counter. Not with anger, with memory. A few minutes later, Lily was back, carrying a tray. She stumbled when someone brushed past her too close, and the tray tilted. Coffee sloshed, spilling onto Jack's knuckles. The diner froze. "I'm so sorry," Lily gasped, panic flooding her face. "I didn't mean, I'll clean it up, I swear." She reached for a napkin, hands shaking. Jack looked down at the coffee dripping from his skin, then back up at her. "It's all right," he said. She blinked. "It is." He took the napkin gently from her fingers and wiped his hand. "Accidents happen." Her shoulders sagged, relief washing over her so fast it almost made her dizzy. "Thank you," she whispered. As she turned to go, Jack spoke again, softer this time. "Those bruises, someone hurting you." The words hit her like a slap. Her eyes darted to the counter. To the kitchen. To the door. Fear hardened her face. I fell, she said quickly. I'm clumsy. Jack didn't argue. He simply nodded. If you say so. But his eyes told her he didn't believe a word of it. She escaped into the kitchen, heart pounding. The cook, an older woman named Marge, shot her a worried look. You okay, honey? Lily nodded, though tears burned behind her eyes. Just busy. The bell jingled again. This time, the sound felt different. Heavier. A man walked in wearing a sheriff's deputy jacket, hat tilted back, smile thin and unpleasant. His name was Carl Denton, and he was known for two things: collecting favors and ignoring complaints. His eyes scanned the room until they landed on Lily through the kitchen window. There you are, he said loudly. Been looking for you. Lily's blood turned to ice. Jack watched the exchange, every muscle in his body going still. Carl sauntered over to the counter, leaning against it like he owned the place. You forgot something last night, he said, voice low but not low enough. I don't know what you mean, Lily replied, barely audible. Carl chuckled. Don't play dumb. You know I don't like that. Jack stood up. The sound of his boots hitting the floor cut through the diner like a gunshot. Conversations ceased. Carl turned, annoyed, until his eyes met Jack's. For a split second, uncertainty flickered there. Problem here? Carl asked, straightening. Jack stepped closer, stopping just short of personal space. He was calm. Too calm. I was wondering the same thing. Carl scoffed. This is official business. Jack glanced at Lily, then back to Carl. Didn't look official. Carl's jaw tightened. Who are you? Someone who doesn't like bullies, Jack replied. The air grew thick. The other bikers stood, one by one, not threatening, just present. The kind of presence that changed outcomes. Carl laughed nervously. You boys think leather makes you law. Jack leaned in slightly. No, he said quietly. But it makes us witnesses. That word landed hard. Carl's smile vanished. Watch yourself. Jack smiled then, but there was no warmth in it. Always do. Carl backed away, eyes darting around, calculating. Finally, he tipped his hat. Another time, he muttered, and left. The bell jingled. Silence followed. Lily stood frozen, tears streaming now, unnoticed. Jack turned to her. You don't have to say anything, he said gently. But you're not alone. She looked at him, really looked, and something inside her cracked. I don't know what to do, she whispered. Jack nodded once. That's okay. We do. Outside, engines roared to life again, louder now, echoing through the town. People peeked through windows as the bikers gathered, Jack at the center, his expression unreadable. Word would spread by nightfall. Something had shifted. And the town, whether it knew it yet or not, would never be the same.